don't wanna fuck with me cause they know big Latto a threat. I'm always on point, ain't talking in decks. Keith, I made these bitches sweat. Nah, you don't gotta ask where I'm at, I'm always on these bitches necks. Damn little bitch, you trippin', we could've been superstars.
Welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to do something a little different for you guys. I'm going to be teaching you how to properly interview, how to prepare your resume, how to prepare for your interview, and how to dress for your interview, okay? So stay tuned, and we're gonna go ahead and get started and get into this video. So the first thing you want to do when preparing for an interview is to make sure you're reading. Normally when you're receiving an interview request and they send you, if you're going to a location, or now with the pandemic, if you're doing a virtual interview, they'll send you a link, and most jobs will also send you the job description so that you can review it. You want to review this job description in detail because you want your interview answers to try to interfere with the questions and with the job. You want it to, to make sense for the position that you are applying for. So sometimes when you have an interview, you're nervous, and that's natural, and it's fine, and it's okay. So if you are a person that gets nervous and you want to talk with your hands, that's something that I do. When I'm in an interview, I make sure I tuck my hands in between my legs. That way, I'm not doing this while I'm talking. It's going to prevent me from doing that when I'm keeping my hands tucked in between my legs. So you always want to make sure that you do that, okay? We're going to go over some basic interview questions and how you should answer them. Okay, so one general question I feel like a lot of jobs ask is, how do you handle or deal with stressful situations or irate customers? So to answer this question, this is how I answer, and then you can just use my answer or rephrase it and mix it in with something that you've came up with. I always say, well, when a customer calls in, or when I speak with an irate customer, I allow them to vent. Then I want them to express what their frustration is. I listen in detail so that I know how I can help this person. I offer empathy, and I try to figure out a common ground where I can meet the customer halfway and make sure that they are happy with the resolution. But you always want to make sure you say that you listen, because there's one thing when dealing with you can have an irate customer, but if you're not listening, you don't know what they're frustrated about. So you don't know how you can help this person if you don't even know why they're mad. So you always want to listen to the person and always offer some form of empathy, or even if you don't, just stay in the interview. The next question. Let's see. Tell me about yourself and describe your background in brief. So when you're telling them about yourself, you don't want to be, I'm 29 years old, I have a child, I'm married, I've been living in Maryland for so. You don't want to do that. You want to state, your background and how it will mesh with this position that you're applying for. What in that background can help with this position. You want to state those facts. Then you want to state that I am a dedicated worker. I am a great communicator. I am an active listener. What are some other things? I'm an active listener. I am great at organization, and I work best under pressure. You want to be able to definitely say that you are a great communicator. With a lot of positions, you have to communicate with somebody, whether it's a customer or externally, or you have to speak and communicate with people internally that you work with. So you want to state that you are a great communicator. You can say you are a great communicator by phone, email, correspondence. Written communication is also a plus if you want to throw that in there as well. Then you want to say that you're organized. A lot of jobs nowadays, you have to do a lot of multitasking. So if you state that you're an organized person, and you're great at organization, another question is, how do you manage your time? So what I say is, I keep an alarm on my phone, and I make sure I put my priority task in order on my alarm, and I want to make sure that I am getting my tasks done on time. So this is how I manage my time during the daily. I always use that. One time I was in an interview, and my alarm happened to go off on my phone in the interview, which was crazy, because I actually do use my alarm for a lot of things, to manage my time. Let's see. Okay, other questions will be like, what are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? This is something that I state. Now this is the thing. You want to give a weakness, but you also want it to be a strength. So you don't want to go into a job and state, well, my weakness is, let me see, what would be one? Okay, I'm not a great listener at times if I'm busy. Nobody want to know that, because if I'm giving you multi-tasks to do, and I'm also talking to you at the same time, I want you to be able to listen. I can't hire a person that when I'm talking to them and that means you won't be able to handle the pressure of this position. So if I'm talking to you and it's going out one ear because you're too focused on something else, they don't want that. So I wouldn't say that. So what I say is that I have the tendency to not be able to say no, and sometimes that allows people to try to walk over me, but I am working on that because I don't want to be a stepping stool for anyone. My son is holding up a sign to say like and subscribe. You want to say something like that, and then you want to say what your strengths are. I say that my strengths are that I am a great communicator. I know how to actively listen. That's what I always say my strengths are. Let's see, what are some other questions? Oh, sometimes they'll ask you like, where do you see yourself within the next 5 years? So even though you don't have this position yet, you want to place yourself into this position, and you're going to state, in the next 5 years, I see myself improving within this company, learning everything that I need to know to help me move up in position and take on some form of leadership role that I can then influence and influence other employees to want to, move up within their position. That is something that you can say. So that was just some interview questions, some basic interview questions, but you can always go online and find questions and answers to, basic interview questions. And sometimes, depending on the type of position that you are, applying for or interviewing for, if you put in that particular position and then put, let's say, accountant interview questions or nurse interview questions, phlebotomy interview questions, things like that, you can definitely put that in Google and search it, and it will help you out. But most of the times, I realize you may get an interview. They may send you out the interview a few days before, maybe at the most a week in advance. If you do that, you want to be practicing every day on your answers. Even if some of these questions that you may look up and you don't answer, you can mix them in with other answers for other questions. Just throw them in there. But you also want to make sure you're studying that job description. That is so important, to study the job description, because you can correlate that with any answer that you can state. Like if they say they're looking for someone who can be a team member, or someone who can actively listen, a great communicator, someone who knows how to do data entry, you can always throw in from your background that I've been in customer service for so and so years, and I've learned how to improve my communication efficiently and effectively. I know how to actively listen, to understand where someone is coming from. I enjoy criticism, because criticism teaches me what I need to improve on and how I can better myself for my future goals. You want to definitely study and work on this because you want to nail this. And if you listen to what I'm saying, I'm telling you, you will nail your interview. So let's go and work on the resume portion. And this is another thing before we start the resume. Sometimes I do have multiple resumes depending on for the type of position. Now the jobs in itself are the same, but I rephrase my job duties for each position so that it relates to the position that I'm applying for. So if you do a customer service, or if customer service and administrative, two different type of positions. So you can do, if you had different jobs, just change up the job descriptions so that it can relate to those different type of positions, and then save them as so your name customer service resume, then your name accountant resume, your name finance resume. That's what I do. And sometimes I do take, if you're a person who have had a lot of jobs, try to use the jobs that relate to the position that you are interviewing for, and just leave out the rest of them. And plus, you always want to make sure your resume is one page. I'm sorry, nobody wants to read 2 or 3 page resume. You can also do a cover letter. I've only done a cover letter one time, but I've never had any problem. And after you interview, you want to follow up after that interview. Maybe let's say 24 or 48 hours after your interview, you want to email the human resources or manager, whomever interviewed you, and just say, hello, dear so-and-so. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to interview with you for the accountant position. And I hope that I am a great fit for your position. And just, throw it in there. I'll throw in an email that I sent for a position that I had interviewed for, but I got the job. I did get the job. So I will throw that in. I'll show you guys it, so you guys can see an example. But you do want to do, you want to do that. All right. So let's go work on the resume now. So the resume that I will be working on is for a friend of mine, and she wants to apply for a phlebotomist position. So you want to review the full job description before applying to a job. Then you want to look at the job duties and responsibilities. You want to input these job duties and responsibilities into your resume somehow. You want to rephrase it, but you want to put them in your resume so that they can see that you've done some of these things before and you have that particular experience. Then they have the company section where you can review that, see their visions, their mission statement, express some of the same things that they mention in there that you can offer as well in the position when you're interviewing. So you want to, like I said, make sure you are reviewing these things in detail. So we're going to go over the resume. So I did mark out some of her things, her personal information, so that you guys cannot see. I have it in white ink so you aren't able to see it. So from off of her resume that she sent me, I am going to input all of her jobs and employment information. But for her particular phlebotomy intern position, I am going to use some of the job duties that she has on her resume, but I'm also going to input some of the job duties from phlebotomy positions. So you don't want to just review one particular job. You can review multiple type of phlebotomy positions and review those job descriptions and input it on your resume. So I'm just putting, certain things on here that you need to put. And another thing, the way your layout of your resume, you want it to have a modern look. You don't want it to be just plain old white. That's just boring now. And a lot of people are into the modern looks. There are many, if you go on Microsoft Word, there are many different resume layouts that you can review and use. So just watch what I'm inputting as the job description, and you guys will see. And then when we get to the key skills part, I'll let you know exactly what you would be needing to place there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and work on our on our key skill portion of your resume. And like I stated before, you want your skills to relate to the position that you are applying for. So please make sure, even if you need to Google and research the type of skills that are needed for that position, you need to do so that way you know that you have it correct on your resume. So because this is in the healthcare field, on the phlebotomy position, I have down empathetic customer service. I have down venipuncture. I have down detail oriented, the HIPAA and OSHA compliance. Want to make sure that you place that you have the knowledge of that. And then we're going to use medical terminology, because you want to make sure that you let them know in the healthcare field you do have understanding of medical terminology. And then interpersonal skills. So as we stated earlier, always make sure that you are placing key skills that will relate to the position that you are trying to receive. This will help you get this position faster than any other candidate. Now I know you guys see right here where it says communication. I will be removing that. I also did put time management as well, because you do want to be able to manage your time. And in the healthcare field, within a lot of career fields, you want to be able to manage your time, as we spoke about earlier. Now, on the objective, I just copied and pasted because I typed this up myself so that you guys can go ahead and read it. The objective also needs to stand out. Okay, that also speaks about the type of candidate that you are. That needs to stand out. So I did place her certifications down here, and then I'll place a picture of her complete resume so that you guys can see it and view it as an example for what you how to prepare your resume in the future. I did also go in and put down her other jobs, and you'll be able to see on her resume when I post it that the job description that I place for the other positions would also relate, even though the jobs in themselves are not in the healthcare field. Some of the things that I stated that she did in that position would relate to the healthcare field, okay? Okay. Now, when dressing for your interview, you want to step sharp. You want to always look presentable at all times. Remember, the first impression is the last impression. Okay? So these folks that are interviewing you, a lot of times there are panel interviews with like 2 or 3 people interviewing you at one time, which is so nerve-wracking. It makes it even more nervous. So if you're looking your best, you're walking in this interview confident. So here is a suit that I have and that I've worn to my interview that I received. It is, and you can see the jacket here with the one button, and my black slacks. And I had on some black dress shoes. I had on studs, and I had on a watch. You do not want to go in with a lot of jewelry on, drawing too much attention to what you're wearing instead of what you're listening to. And you don't want to go in here looking crazy. I've never worn hoop earrings into an interview. I'm sorry. I've never done it. I do not think it is appropriate or presentable for an interview. So would float your boat, but if you're listening to me, do not wear hoop earrings, okay? Get you I actually got this suit from K&G's. You can always go to the thrift store and find nice suits, pieces together. You can always, just put things together. Get you a nice jacket and then find some pants that match. It doesn't have to be a set. You can just find the pants to match with it. And then what I wore under here was a white button-up. I didn't even wear a necklace. So all I had on was my watch, my stud earrings, and that was it. So you want to dress sharp and plain at the same time. You don't want to be doing too much. Your clothes need to speak for you, not your jewelry. Your clothes need to speak for you. And with your hair, always, if you don't have your hair done at the time, throw it in a low bun, throw it in a high bun, and throw it in a little low ponytail and wrap it around at the back. You just want to be presentable. And men, if you don't have a haircut, try to just brush your hair as best as you can. If you could get a razor to just line you up the little hairs by yourself, or get some scissors to cut down the top, do that. And men, you also want to wear a suit. Now, I believe like black, gray, navy blue speak out. I don't think walking into an interview with colorful clothes on is appropriate either. You want to do black, gray, navy blue. You can also, you don't have to do pants. You can also do a skirt suit as well, and that will work perfectly. You're still looking presentable, okay? But anyway, yeah. Always be prepared for your interviews, and the only way you're going to get an interview is if your resume is reflecting off of paper that you are the best for this position. Remember, before an interview, they are only seeing your application and your resume. So you need that to reflect and show that you are the best candidate for this position. If your resume and the things that you state on your job application do not show that, you're not getting an interview. So that's the first step. The first step is making sure that resume and that job application reflect, I'm the best candidate for this position. No one else is the best. And remember what I said in my last video. Always be confident. Don't let nobody tell you it's cocky. Walk around as confident as you can be. And don't let no one deter it out your head, put you down, belittle you, or anything. Know that you the best. You're going to always be the best, and ain't nobody better than you. Always have that mindset. I don't care what nobody say. Always have that mindset. And you walk into this interview with your head held high. You shaking everybody's hand. You giving everyone eye contact. Okay? If it's a panel interview and one person at a time is asking the questions, that's how it normally goes. When that person asks you that question, you give them eye contact and then you look at everyone else. And a lot of things with the way they interview now, they want you to talk. You don't talk too much, but you want to be talking to let them know what you're saying relates to this position, and I'm the best candidate for this position. That's why when they're sitting there doing all of their writing, they're writing down your answers and your responses to these questions, and they're scoring. They are scoring your answers. So you need to make sure your answers are the best. That's why just like if you're studying for a test, you want to study for your job interview. You have to study for a job interview. It does not matter. You can't go on a job interview blindsided, because then you won't get the job. You can't go on a job interview not knowing job description, not knowing what they are expecting of you, not knowing what qualities you need to have, not knowing what you're going to be doing on a daily basis. And another thing, always ask questions at the end of the interview. Ask them, how soon are you guys looking to hire someone? How many positions are opening? What growth opportunities do you guys offer to your employees? You want to answer those questions. You don't want to ask too many questions though. Leave it to a 2 and 3 minimum question. Don't go in there asking the people 10 questions. Okay? Do not go in there asking the people 10 questions. Do not do it. When you're getting ready for your interviews, and if you've used these steps that I've taught you, these things that I've taught you, let me know how your interview goes. Comment down below. Let me know. And if you guys would like to see more videos like this, more informative videos, let me know and I'll get them out for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Help your girl get to 1,000 subscribers. And I want to thank all of my new subscribers out there. Thank you for subscribing and helping your girl get over 100 subscribers. Finally, thank you. Y'all the best, okay? But anyway, y'all, I enjoyed doing this video. This was actually pretty fun, and I like this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell and stay tuned to whenever I post. Share my videos so they can get around 10. Peace. Till next time.